Will, I'm so glad you're on this podcast. The podcast is called For All the Marbles in partnership with Marbleism. Will Byington, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Bart. Great to see you.
Will is a photographer. He is a videographer. He is a creative gentleman. He's a former podcast host. I met him years ago through ALG and ALG Vacations, through their Ascend conference, through their Kindness conference. I was automatically inspired when I met Will, because he was willing to teach people just about anything as it comes to capturing images, making people look good. In fact, before we hit record, he was going through the settings with this to make sure that I looked good and I sounded good. Will, thank you. But Will, this podcast, it's a special segment in addition to most people don't, but you do. It's called Marbleism, For All the Marbles. We talk to entrepreneurs that have had great success, but that have also struggled and have gone through many ups and downs to be able to get where they are. And you have a very unique story, and I would like you to begin to share it in a moment. And I realize that I'm doing all the talking, and Will, we're out of time. Thank you for joining.
It's been great being here. Thanks so much.
Joining us from Chicago. Will, what interested you initially in photography? Was it something as a kid that someone gave you a camera when you were 4? How did it start? Because I don't know this answer.
Yeah, I've been very blessed and lucky. I'm 47, total right on the edge of Gen X, and grew up in the time and lifestyle where disposable cameras, 1-hour photos. We had the fun of being able to document life and then wait a week to find out what you caught. I would have the camera and get it developed and love what you discovered. It was almost magic because you take it to a 1-hour photo and realize what you missed, what you caught, and the candid moments of life. I always did it just for fun growing up. My dad dabbled in photography, and he was a journalist in college and after college. So I was always around it, but he did it for fun as well, not for a living. I took one class senior year at the University of Alabama, took one photography class, thought it would be a blow off, but the blessing was it was literally one of the last classes that was still in the darkroom and film. And so I got to learn developing and having the fun with that. I did photography as a hobby. From then on, I toured with a couple bands around the U.S. and always took a film camera, and was lucky enough, this was 2001 to 2004 that I was touring, took a digital camera. They were new, they were fun, you'd get a memory card that was 1 gigabyte. I remember when I got my first 1 gigabyte card, it used to be even 258 megabytes, and you thought that was huge, I'll never fill that. Then you got a 1 gigabyte card. And the fun thing is, it opened up a whole different world, though, the digital photography. And now I've been doing it for a living for 21 years. I've been a professional photographer. To your point of entrepreneurs, you're not an entrepreneur if you don't fail, if you don't try things and throw things at the wall and fail sometimes.
We're going to get there, but you just skipped over a whole lot of stuff. Well, I want to make sure that we and our listeners are going to be people that are in business, people that are starting businesses, people that are thinking about starting a business or even a side gig. And the goal is to be able to teach people what others have already experienced to give them advice. You jumped over very quickly from a camera, disposable camera, dropping it off and coming back a week later to see what you captured, to taking a class, to all of a sudden touring with a band. What was the progression like there? Were you touring with the band because you were a musician? Were you touring with the band because you thought, I'm good at this? What happened?
Again, luck. That progression is, I actually, all through college and after college, I thought I was going to do radio. I thought I was going to do entertainment business, promotions, marketing. I moved to LA and did movie marketing in LA in Beverly Hills for a year. I lasted 1 year in an office working on Academy Award-winning movies like Blair Witch 2. Definitely not an Academy Award-winning movie. Promoting that. Always did it, again, as a hobby. I moved back from LA to Chicago, and I was doing merchandise for a band called Cowboy Mouth from New Orleans, Louisiana. That's where I went on tour with them. I was part of the crew, the guy behind the band, selling merchandise, selling T-shirts, creating their merchandise, and then doing photography as a hobby. Just taking pictures as we toured around the US of A.
How did the band get to meet you, or how did you know them? Were they friends of yours?
I had been a fan of Cowboy Mouth. They were blowing up in the 90s. They were a great band. They had a song called Jenny Says, was one of their hits, if you were to say. But they were just one of the most powerful live bands going. I had actually booked them at the University of Alabama. Booked them. I'd done radio interviews with them, gotten to be friends. And when I moved back from LA to Chicago, I was literally back, didn't know what I was going to do with my life, and saw them at the House of Blues here in Chicago, and just kind of said, hey, if you guys ever need help, I'm here. I'm 22, 23. I'm out of work. What do you need? And they actually said their merch girl at the point had quit. And do you want to go on tour? Do you want to join a rock and roll band on tour around the country? And I said, let me think. Yes. Yes, I do. And 20 years touring the country.
Tremendous guts. In thinking about what I know about your career, would that have been a pivotal moment?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. You knew that you weren't into marketing films in Los Angeles. And I shared with you, our son works for a film marketing company, didn't I?
Yes.
And for our listeners. And it's different. I'm sure it's different now. He will do press screenings, influencer screenings for movies before they're shown to the public. He helps to organize them, and he works with some of the major film studios out on the West Coast. So it's interesting, right? The past. Did you feel after you saw, tell me again, Cowboy Mouth?
Cowboy Mouth, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up and maybe insert some music here. Cowboy Mouth. Do you remember how you were feeling at the concert? First of all, when you moved from LA back to Chicago, did you feel a little defeated, like I didn't make it?
Oh, 100%, 100%. LA, everyone moves to LA. Is probably one of the toughest places to move, and everyone does it. If you have a dream of working in the entertainment business, of working in music, movies, TV, anything, radio, LA is the Mecca. Hollywood has that draw. I always think of the scene out of Pretty Woman where the guy goes, basically, he's yelling on the street, this is Hollywood. What's your dream? What's your dream? And it's what inspires me about LA. I hated living there. I was, again, straight out of college, didn't know anyone, didn't know myself was the biggest problem. And you move to Hollywood with that dream. And then the company I worked for, she took a tremendous chance on me, but it was a 5-person company and a small little company, and business was not as good by the time I got there as it had been at one point for them. They had lost some clients, even in the time from the time I interviewed till the time I got out there, they'd lost some clients. And so that job didn't work out. And then I took a second job the year I was there. I said, I want to get back to music and entertainment promotion. And I took this job with a guy that was promoting entertainment to colleges, which is what I had done my whole 4 years of college. I was like, this is my wheelhouse. And I took the job. He promised me like $75,000. He promised me an office overlooking the Hollywood sign from Sunset Boulevard. Within, I think, 2 weeks of being at the job, we were evicted out of that office and moved into basically a mailroom in the building. My first paycheck, he didn't give it to me. It was late. My second paycheck, he gave it to me because I forced it. He said, don't cash it. It won't clear. I only lasted about 2 months at that job. I gave it probably too long because I, again, had the dream. But everything I've jokingly said, and one of my goals in life, and now it's on record once again, before I die, I'm going to write a movie, and I'm going to call it The Last Day in LA. And it's going to combine everything that happened in 1 year into one day. But because my living situation was a nightmare, work ended up being a nightmare. No, I 100% moved back after just a year in LA with my head between my legs, my beaten down, beaten up, and I totally 100% felt like I had failed because.
Okay, and I just want to pause there for a moment, Will, and thank you for sharing parts of your story. The good news is what I'm hearing, and if I'm an entrepreneur, if I'm just a listener in business, that you had a general idea of what you wanted to do. You knew what excited you. It was promotions, it was activity, it was live entertainment. Didn't necessarily need to be, at that point, tell me, didn't need to be music. It just needed to be action, liveliness, live events. Whether you could promote it, organize it, execute it, book it, that's what you liked.
It's fun being around creative people, and 100%, whether it's, again, radio, music, movies, TV. The fun thing about being around LA, and like I said, it's what inspires me out there. I hated it at the time, but now I go back and I'm inspired every time I'm there, is you're at the coffee shop, you're at Starbucks, and people are working on their dream. Everywhere you go, everywhere you look, they're beaten down, but they're working on their dream. And that inspires me. That inspires me.
And I'm with you. And Will, I think that's what I like about you, that you are working on your dream. I'm working on my dream. We're never going to be finished. We are evolving. We're learning. We're sharing. Think about the things that you've taught me and that I've taught you. We are all evolving. We are living our dream while chasing our dream.
It's a constant hustle. And in some ways, as a freelancer, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner for 21 years now with this, I'm not going to lie. There's times where I go, you do get tired of the hustle. You get tired. You go, man, I hear my friends where you're out on a Thursday night and they go, oh, my paycheck just hit my bank account.
What?
And you go, what's that like to have money show up every 2 weeks, just appear? Yeah. There's every now and then the hustle gets tiring. But at the same time, I'll say I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love it. Just hearing you say, I'm never going to reach the dream, or you're always going to be chasing it, that inspires me even more. And that makes me excited, because I always say with my business, the beauty of working for yourself, and it's a blessing and a curse, is I always say, when you work for someone, they can fire you tomorrow. I saw Amazon is laying off 30,000 people, I think, in the next week or so. So when you work for someone else, you're at the mercy of the man. I am the man. And I fire myself every Monday, and by Monday afternoon, I'm back at work. And the beauty of it is while working for this, I always say, if I succeed, it's because of me. And if I fail, it's because of me. It's my fault if I fail. It's my fault if I succeed.
I love that. Said that to you. Yes, you did on the bus in Cancun.
You said fault if you succeed. And what I see that is, again, if I blow things off, if I miss emails, or if I do, it's my bad. And it's 100% on me. I can't blame anyone else. But also, finding true success is because of the people I meet and the connections I make and the teams I build. But that does come back to me at the end of the day.
Agreed. I was thinking of this just the other day, and I shared it with Terry. And for our new listeners, Terry is not only my wife, but my business partner. And she is also my glimmer, which is a different topic that I started to share a little bit with you. Well, she's my glimmer, trigger glimmer to awe. And she has allowed me to reach awe right now. And we were talking about that. Think about and you probably only have done this a little bit. When someone applies for a job and you go through the interview process, you want to make sure that you're prepared for that interview, and you want to make sure that your beard is trimmed, and that you know the company, and that you've connected with them on LinkedIn, and you've looked them up, and you've done research on you've been prepared. And once you get that job, then there's the appreciation, there's the gratitude, there's the strategy, there's the game plan, there's the networking, there's the political environment. I was thinking about that with almost every single opportunity gig that you get, that I get. It's almost like an interview process to earn that job. And I'll give you an example. I had a great call yesterday, and I was able to follow up very quickly, and I'll share this with you and with our listeners. If I don't have time to draft a really long email, However, Marblism, Marblism, can help, and I'll talk to you probably afterwards, and maybe we'll keep recording and we'll cut part of that out, but I want you to learn it. If you don't have time to fully respond, but it's important enough. It was an amazing call with a large travel organization, let's just put it that way. 46 minutes when we had only allowed 30 minutes. They were just two terrific ladies. And I felt compelled. There's an ask afterwards. We talked about a different idea for a keynote presentation next year. And I said, allow me to summarize where I think would be best for your audience. Great. I got off the phone. I had to jump to another call. But what I did is I typed an email, and in the subject line, I put 9 keystrokes. So to Will, to XYZ, to Courtney, to Cynthia, subject line, 9 keystrokes. And then the subject says, I encourage my audiences to do what most people don't do. It only takes 9 keystrokes to type out thank you. THANK space YOU, right? What is it? 9 keystrokes. And I've timed it before. So I say 9 keystrokes. It only takes 1.7 seconds just to say thank you. And I hit send and got like an immediate response. Oh, this is so great. We really like talking to you. We can't wait to hear more. But at least it was me going for that job, me getting that promotion. I want to do everything I can do in a timely manner to be able to earn that job, to earn that promotion, to earn that position. It's just, to us, it's a gig, right? To earn it. I thought that was an interesting way of thinking about it, because if we did not spend that focus on that opportunity, on that promotion, on that gig, we would just let it go. If you weren't working for yourself, you would just let it go. Oh, my boss wants to have a call with me. I better take this first. Oh, we're having a strategy meeting to talk about what we can do to get more revenue, so I got to handle that. Oh, I'm being pulled out to help with this operational thing. I'll see if I can respond to them. I'll tell them next week. Shame on us. We don't do that, do we, Will?
You can't. It's funny, one thing I'm torn with in what I do for a living as a photographer, as a creative, as a videographer, is I can teach people all day long. I've started doing my Shot Club photo class where I teach people, as you mentioned, leveling up your photography with your phone is the main focus. I do real cameras too, but the phone is where my main focus is right now. And one of my best things I do, I think, and one of my worst things I do is when I'm on a gig, whether it's a conference in Cancun, whether it's a rock and roll cruise for 6 Man, when I'm on a gig, I focus on the client and I make sure that I'm creating exactly what they need. And I make sure that I'm sharing exactly what they need with them. And 9 times out of 10, I let them share before I share. I've realized in this day and age of social media, because of being our own bosses and being our own companies and being our own entrepreneurs, it is a constant hustle of we're not only the creative. I saw a stat, or somebody said this once, where they said being a photographer is 90% business and invoicing and proposals and emails and sending thank yous, and 10% creating. And there are so many weeks and so many days where I feel like that's 100% true, because I feel like I haven't created in a week. I've been emailing invoices, and I've been emailing and setting up podcasts and setting up interviews and setting up all the things. And it's good, but it's the crazy part that I think people don't realize about any of it is I'm my social media manager. I'm my HR.
You're your legal team. And you're the creative, and you're the salesperson.
Wait, I need a legal team? Yeah, I probably do, because sometimes there's beverages and no, it's everything. Again, it's good and it's bad.
No, Will, and you are leading me directly into the conversation about Marblism, and I will tell you a little bit about it. And the team Uric, who is the founder, is very intentional with, he doesn't want this to be a sales pitch for Marblism. I'm getting people that I like, that I know are great entrepreneurs, to share bits of advice and strategies and tactics. but it is leading so much into, let me just tell you about Marbleism and what it does. There's two things that I wanted to share quickly with that. The element of not always being able to do what your passion is, there's other components. You have probably heard this from chefs all the time. They're in the kitchen. When you're an executive chef, you're leading teams, but you might not even be cooking anymore. And that's hard for chefs because that's what they love to do. A coach, let's think about it as a coach. They're still in the game, they're coaching the game, but they're not on the field or on the court. So that's probably difficult for them. And if you ever ask an executive chef that you meet, ask them, what do they make for dinner? And I would probably tell you 9 times out of 10, they're going to say cereal and milk, because they are exhausted after leading people. But it's a great reminder, Will, that we need to make sure that you are pursuing your passion. Got it? That you have guts. You going up to cowboy mouth at a difficult time, cowboy mouth, if at a difficult time in your life, to say, if you ever need help, I can help you. Timing, universe, confidence. You also, at that point, when you were dejected, perhaps from how Los Angeles treated you, all due respect, great city, how the gigs were treating you, you didn't curl up in a ball and diminish. You went out and you...
I might have for 3 days.
Okay, that's okay.
We all do. We all do.
But on the fourth day, Will, you got around creative people again. Resilience, flexibility, all of these things. When we get to the point where you're only being 10% creative, but that's why you started it, Marbleism, and I'll just share this quickly and then we can record after. Marbleism allows entrepreneurs to be able to get their work done, handle a lot of the administrative things, and focus on the creative element, the reasons why. And they assign you, I think I started to tell you, they assign you Ava, an assistant. And Ava is going to go through and monitor your emails, and she will organize them for you. Is it FYI only? Is it I need to respond? Is it a lead? Is it an opportunity? Is it delete? That's cool. So someone is helping you because that's administrative. But then the other thing I told you that just blew me away was she will, AI, through Marbleism, will create draft emails for you. And the responses are lovely. And I have to tell her, not everyone that reaches out to me needs a separate phone call with me, right? She's very generous with my time that I don't always have, but she is creating some wonderful email messages that are on point because I've educated her. I've fed her my book. I've fed her my podcast posts. I've fed her things. So it's on point. But that all I have to do is then go to my drafts and see, yep, well, that draft looks good. I'm going to send that to Will. Send. I need to change a little bit. Send. I need to change that. Send. It's unbelievable. That one example that I just shared with everybody, the 9 keystrokes in the subject line. This is what Ava, AI, drafted for me. Thank you, Cynthia. And I shared that, her name. Great connecting with a fellow Nittany Lion. Always love those Penn State connections. I'll get a signed copy of my book, Most People Don't, and Why You Should, out to you this week. Thanks for sharing the best address to send it to and for your enthusiasm about our conversation. I'll follow up with those summary ideas we discussed shortly. Have a great week. This is me. This is lovelier than me. This is better than me. Yeah. And it just saved me. What do I really want to say? Do I want to say greetings or good afternoon or hello or how's it going? Greetings. Nice to meet you, Cynthia. Nice to meet another Nittany Lion. It's just really cool that AI can now, and I think we need to embrace it, can help us with email communications. There are social media components. Sonny is your social media person. I feed him ideas. I saw this. I experienced this. Could you help me turn that into a LinkedIn story? Could you help me? And we brainstorm together. There's so many interesting components, but the point is now, creative people that are listening, you don't have to only do your creative job 10% of the time. If AI can help you automate, and I talked to a gentleman recently, he has a PhD in artificial intelligence. His messaging was, if human interaction does not make it better, let the computer do it. If human interaction does not make it better, let AI do it. What do you think of that?
I think
know we've been all over the place, but good.
I think it's here. I think it's a fascinating thing. One of the most wonderful, special people in my world, she's been using AI. She used it to get her most recent job, kind of like you said about the interviews. She fed ChatGPT and Claude everything, questions. She fed it. As you said, you have to feed it. And it got her dream job. I think. And she's one that doesn't use social media. She doesn't use social media, but she's using AI. I think it's here. I will admit, I've taken a couple classes now. I'm still old school. There's part of me that I love AI when it creates the cleanup feature on the new iPhone where I can remove people out of the background. I'm loving. I will admit I'm slow. I use the analogy with someone else talking about AI that I'm on the train, but I'm still at the caboose. And I'm just trying to get to the observation car before I get even anywhere else. I'm learning it. I'm hesitant, but seeing what you showed me in Cancun, even the email responses. And as you said, that's so much nicer than even you are. And you're one of the nicest people I know. It's brilliant. It's beautiful. And it's also here. It's not going anywhere. And to your point, when you do spend 90% of your week responding to emails, anything that can give us a little bit more time back is amazing. I'm fascinated by it. And it's funny because I can sit here and tell you I don't have time, and then you find a way to create time, and you still don't have time. And it's a fascinating thing, but I'm so intrigued, and it's why when you mentioned all of this, one, I'll do anything for you, and anything you say jump, I'll say how high. Let's go. Because again, I like being around creative people, and you and your audience are. Let's go.
Let's go.
But it is intimidating. It is intimidating. It's scary. There is a scary part to it.
Sure.
As a photographer, it's funny. I said no to teaching my photo classes for about 5 years. There's a thing in creative anything, and really anything in life. I think even accountants have it. Imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is so real. I think everyone has it. Everyone deals with it. If you say you don't, I want to know so much more. Give me a beer and let's just talk, because every creative person and every person I've ever met at some point has the imposter syndrome where you go, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I see what other people are doing and I go, I can never do that. I said no to teaching the photo classes for years because I was afraid, just like I think everybody is of AI. I was afraid if I teach everybody how to take better photos, if I teach you to be a better photographer, why would you hire me? If I teach a client or people how to take better photos, it's going to put me out of work. And every day there's new photographers coming. Everybody gets a new camera, or they take a good shot and they go, I'm a photographer. At least every Uber driver I have tells me they're a photographer. So I fought it for years, and I said, I can't teach. And imposter syndrome, and I can't teach because I don't want to lose jobs. What I've learned is, it's the old saying of rising waters. I can't even think of the saying. It
brings everyone up.
Brings everyone up, raises all boats, whatever it is. That's so true. I've now embraced it. I'm still getting gigs. I'm still getting jobs. I'm still having fun. I'm still doing some really creative, fun gigs. But it's also really fun to see someone who goes, I can never take a good photo. I can never create anything. And scratching that 8th grade itch, I always call it. I always say about 8th grade is when we still enjoyed art class and still had fun and didn't care what we were doing. We just had fun. And I want everybody to revisit that feeling, because there is nothing better than taking a shot and just with a little creative editing, cropping, making it black and white, doing whatever you can, playing with slow motion video, whatever it is. It's so rewarding to see people go, I just did that. I created that. I did that.
Well, you're bringing back a lot of different memories. First time we met, and this was in the lobby. I can't remember which all-inclusive it was in Cancun, but your initial willingness to talk to us and then teach us. I still have the photograph. You were like, look, let me take one this way and then let me do it this way, and let me put a light little click here for a moment, and then let me just put it to black and white. Like, I still have it, and it's one of Terry's most favorite photos of me. You taught me how to do something better. I want to get back to you here. Do you believe that you see, let me rephrase it, what makes you an outstanding creative person, an outstanding photographer, an outstanding videographer? I'm trying to include all titles, or we can just stick with photographer. What makes you an outstanding photographer that national, worldwide known bands will invite you to tour with them, to go on a cruise with them, to go to the concerts? You have celebrities that you are their personal photographer, and they go to an event and you are with them, that you, for 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years, you are aligned with many companies that will never let you go. What makes you so good? And I have my own answer, Will, but what do you think? Let go of any, this is a chance to brag. What makes you so good?
Thank you. I'm humbled right now, and part of me wants to be like, go on, keep going. That was so great.
You got more comment.
Thank you. No, you know what? I think, and it's funny. I'm in the process of redoing my website, and I haven't updated my website in years, and it's a big weakness. Can Marbleism help me do that? No.
Give you ideas and evaluate your website. Yes, actually.
I think to answer your question, what I've found is, one, like I said, focus. I stay focused on the clients. I never want to be paparazzi. There's a trust that I build with any relationship. There's trust. There's focus where I'm not. Last week I was at the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee, the Mother Church of Country Music, a historic venue. I waited till after I got home basically to share stuff. I'm not back there trying to be paparazzi. I'm not back there trying to be, hey, look at me. I think the other thing that I do is, to your point, I fully know, even with all the kind words, and I can have the biggest ego about it in the world, but I fully know as much as I get the great photos and I get the fantastic shots and I get it done, when I'm at a show, when I'm at whether it's a conference or a concert, I realize always the client and the customer is number one. It's not about me. What I try to do is, I know 100% I've missed amazing shots because I didn't get in the exact right spot. But I also know if I block those audience members in the front row, and if I am a detriment to their experience and their show, their evening, I'm done. Even if I got an award-winning shot, I know that if the crowd is going, we love the show, but that photographer with the hat blocked my view all night.
Wow.
I'm done. And I've found over the years, like I said, the imposter syndrome is every morning I open Instagram, I see photos from other photographers where I go, what in the world? How did they get that? Where did they get that? How? That inspires me to try and learn and ask and find ways to get shots that are that good. But it's also, every day I realize, every gig, if the client, if I'm backstage and I try to be the circus backstage, that client's not bringing me backstage ever again.
Agreed.
If I block the crowd, and so that's where also one thing I've learned with every gig I do. And thank you again. I love that story about us meeting. I remember it was in the Secrets Divine, I think is the hotel.
Yes.
We were in the lobby. We were getting coffee and pastries and just snacking, and we started talking. And I remember that. And I remember you asking a couple of brilliant questions like you do, and I just jumped in. But whether it's you doing what you do, because you ask such good questions of people and you truly care and you give 100% listening to people, it's what you do so well. But what I've tried to do, like you said, most people don't, is what I try to do is what I've realized is, again, when I'm on a bus to the site visit or to the opening party at these conferences, or when I'm sitting at dinner and just talking to the person next to you. And what I've told a couple of people recently, here's the little secret. What I've learned is it's really out of greed when I ask people questions, when I ask people, what problem are you having with your phone? To be honest, it was greed, I think, because I think you said it. You said something like, oh, my portrait mode never looks like other people's portrait mode. I never get the photos. Everybody has the same camera, same phone. But I think that's, if I remember right, it was a version of that how we started, because you said, I have the same phone as someone else. Yeah. And it doesn't look the way theirs does. And luckily, it was an easy one for me to show you a few tips and tricks. But what I've learned is, every time I ask someone, when you ask people questions, I love the scene in Ted Lasso where he's playing darts. And he's playing darts with Rupert. Basically, the whole point of the scene is be curious, not judgmental. And what I've learned is every time I ask someone, what problem are you having with your phone? When you take a photo, what don't you like? What do you wish you could do? It's really out of greed, because now that I am down this path and I'm creating the Shot Club photo class, and within the next year, we're going to launch an app. We're going to launch a community. I'm building a community and an app, and really building it where I want people to be able to create and share and learn and dive in. Every time I ask a question, it's really greed, because I'm able to take from that where people's weaknesses are and hopefully help them.
I never thought that you were doing that. Well, here's an admission. I do the exact same thing. The reason why I want to ask questions is that I want to learn. And because, whether you believe it or not, I've had the propensity for negativity in my life. Just of things that happened to me as a child, out-of-body experiences during no surgery at age 12. And some of our listeners know that, but that kind of put me on this negative, fearful path. I ask questions because I am seeking what else makes people happy. And I believe I have the talent that if I learn that being creative makes Will happy, cooking makes Terry happy, walking dogs makes Kathy happy, Justin likes raking leaves to relax. If I ask questions and I learn that, I'm pulling all of that in and I'm putting it into my heart. And when I need a little bit of self-talk and self-rejuvenation, I think about meeting with Will and him encouraging me to be creative. And I don't need necessarily to draw or paint like I was at 8 years old, but I can be creative because both of my parents were art teachers. I can be creative now. And now that it's in my heart, Will, I have a really interesting memory that whenever I meet someone that needs a little dose of thinking about creativity, I'm going to pull out the Will Byington story and I'm going to share. We're not dissimilar in a very nice way. We're not dissimilar that way, which is really, it's rather interesting. And thank you for sharing that, because I've never thought about you that way, but it makes sense. Here's another thing I want to compliment you on. For our listeners, if you're taking notes, you shared the word focus so many different times. Someone had described to me whenever I'm at a conference is that the reason why I'm able to learn 100 people's names in my session is that I erase me. It is not about me. It is about every single person that I'm presenting to. And Will, that's the same with you, right? It's not about when we saw each other in Cancun multiple times. Yes, you were trying to get something to get a drink, but it wasn't about you nourishing yourself. It was about you getting fueled to be ready to see the next thing, to focus in on someone else. And that is such a special gift. That is, don't think of it as being selfish. It's an unselfish gift to be able to focus in on others, focus in on the customers. I have another example that I wanted to share with you. When you were talking about you don't need to be blocking the view, because sometimes people in nice hats can be annoying and frustrating and interrupting, disruptive, and all those other words. Just last night, watching part of the World Series.
One of the best games ever. One of the best. That game was insane.
And I'll share with you what bothered me. Is it the ump behind the plate that does the calls? The ump was super, super duper slow, right? The pitch comes in and it's this stall, and then it's the strike. It's not about you, umpire, It's not about you. And I don't know if did you watch the game? There was this one play in which he thought it was a ball, but the guy was so slow at calling the strike that the base runner at first was halfway to second and was blown away by the slow call that he just stopped and he got out. Like that, from my perspective, it triggered me. I was angry because to me, that umpire was making the World Series at that moment about him. You don't make it about you, Will. Here's another thing that I think I know about you. I have gone to a coffee shop for years, not because in Leesburg, I don't even like the coffee, but we had probably gone there to do co-working and interact with our community of friends for probably 10 years. The coffee was not even that good. It was about the people, that they recognized me, that if they had an extra brand new pumpkin cupcake, they would share it with me. It was always about the people. It wasn't about the coffee. And it's still not about the coffee. I can go to someplace else and get better coffee. And Will, I just want you to hear this. To me, respectfully, it's not about your photographs. That's one thing. But dude, it is so much about you. It is your care, your respect, your inquisitiveness, your willingness to teach people, your friendliness, your approachability. It's you, Will. It's not about your photographs. It's about your focus. And I guess even with me, just bear with me because I'm evaluating me and you at the same time. There are things that leaders can say. There are things that motivational people can say. In fact, one of my trigger, glimmer, awe messages, we talked about in order to get from trigger, things that happen to us, to glimmer, finding hope, to get to awe, the moment where things are good, we need to go through that glimmer moment, but we need to be ready physically and mentally. So I just did, based on my studies and based on what makes me feel good, I came up with the acronym FMR. So it's fuel, it's move, and it's rest. Fuel, move, and rest. And then there's little examples of what I have been able to do. But those three things, Will, and to our listener, there are 100,000 people out there that are talking about fuel, to feel good, moving, to feel good, and resting. But I think what's different with me is I approach it through storytelling. I approach it through my own experiences. I explain it perhaps differently. It's not about the topic. It's not about fuel, move, rest. And Will, with all due respect, I don't think it's about the photos, the end results. Yes, they're lovely and they're awesome. Do you agree respectfully?
I do 100%. One of my best clients is a company called Sixth Man. Like I mentioned it offhand. I've now done 172 rock and roll cruises or entertainment cruises in the Caribbean, in the Mediterranean, in the Pacific with Sixth Man. And this is 11 years with the band Kiss. It's 17 years of a cruise called Kayama, that's a singer-songwriter cruise. It's Bon Jovi. We did cruises. Kesha, Pitbull, 311, Sister Hazel, on 172. We did Walking Dead cruises. We did with the cast and crew of Walking Dead. I leave next week for the Hallmark Christmas movie cruise.
Wow.
That I'm the official photographer for. Everything you just said is 100% the way I do my business. And thank you. Thank you. I have realized when Andy Levine, the guy who started Sixth Man, he started it with Sister Hazel and he started it with the Rock Boat. And next year in January is the 25th Rock Boat. I will have done 22 of the Rock Boats over the years. So 22 Rock Boats. When he hired me, he basically said, Will, here's, and this was 2007 when I started shooting the Rock Boat. I'd been on it with Cowboy Mouth. I'd been on it with the band. But when I started shooting in 2007, he said, Will, capture the experience. And I said, what does that even mean? And he said, just capture it. You'll do great. Go. And sent me out into the wild to capture the experience. And what I learned early on with my career with Sixth Man, the first year I did two boats, Rock Boat and a Leonard Skinner boat. The next year it was 5 boats. We added a John Mayer cruise, a Bare Naked Ladies cruise, all that. Then it's grown, and Sixth Man, this next year, Sixth Man will do, in a 12-month period, I think they're doing 26 boats. They're killing it in the travel space of custom cruises for fan bases and audiences. But what I realized, to your point, and where I've taken it, and like I said, I know I'm not the best photographer in the world. I'm not. There's skilled photographers who everything they do is just gold. What I realized is, thank you for saying it, and I don't take offense to it because it's part of my motto and part of I wanted to become part of the experience. And so whether it's on the cruise or at Ascend in Cancun, or whether it's, again, whether it could even be a family birthday party I'm hired to shoot. What I do is I get there, and thank you. Again, I pride myself on my attitude. I pride myself because, again, depression is real for everybody. I have days of self-doubt. I have weeks, I have months of self-doubt. I have everything we all do. But when I walk into that room, I'm smiling. I get to know people. I shake their hand. One of my biggest weaknesses in life, you mentioned, I'm horrible with names. 9 times out of 10. And part of it is I'm the one guy walking in, and all of a sudden I meet 6 people 30 seconds after entering the room. But I still make sure to be a part of the experience. An example of that on the cruises is I can't tell you how many times just the fans have gotten to know me. I post before almost every cruise. I post in the Facebook group, and I say, hey, I'm the official photographer. For years, I was the only one. Now we have a team usually of 1 or 2 others. And so now I'll post that the 3 of us or 2 of us are the official photographers. But for years, I would go into the Facebook group a week, 2 weeks before the boat and say, with a little picture of me, and say, hey, I'm Will Byington. I'm the official photographer. I've done 100 of these. I've done 50 of these. I've done 172 of them. But I post, I say who I am. I say I'm coming from Chicago. And I say, find me, say hello. As you see me running through the boat, wave at me, yell at me, say, hey, take my photo. And what I've realized is by doing that, it's partially out of, greed. And I jokingly say greed because it's a bad word, but it's a way that when I get on the boat and I'm standing in front of people in that front row, taking pictures of the band, 9 times out of 10, they go, oh, I saw your post on Facebook. Cool. Get my photo after you take the band shot. And it creates a level of awareness of the experience that plays in my favor. It also gives them, they know me, they feel like they know me, they look for me, and I'm part of the experience.
What a great way. I want to summarize, right? You are part of the experience. You are enhancing the experience. You are capturing moments of the experience because of your focus, Will Byington, because of your focus. That's what makes you an incredible entrepreneur, an incredible person. Your focus. And I don't think that us asking questions, we don't need to call it selfish. We can call it curiosity, and we can call it we're gathering information in order to be able to provide a better experience. That's it. That's what we are doing. Do you agree?
I agree 100%. Now, I'll use another example. I did a gig. This fits into the way we know each other, but I did a gig and there were some travel influencers. And again, I'm 47. They were a lot younger than me, but it's all about life. The old saying, life is 80% about showing up, or whatever the percent is. I'm bad at math, so I can't remember. I went to Alabama. I'm not sure what the number exactly is, but a huge part of life is showing up, but a huge part of life is that engagement, is that experience. And I laughed because every time they would be together, they would go eat together. It's literally, I really think, what sets me apart, to your question a while back, is, again, realizing it's not about me, and realizing just by going 10% out of your comfort zone is going to be what gets you the jobs. There's, in my industry, as we said, there are 1 million photographers who are really good. There's 20 million photographers. There's 1 million that are good, and there's thousands that are excellent. There are thousands of photographers. What you have to do is set yourself apart. And it goes with any business. You have to, no matter what you do, you have to find a way to be part of the experience and set yourself apart, be a little different. Again, I do truly believe there's so much negativity in the world right now that the other part, and this is what you do so well, and some of the other people we work with, is there is also, back to Kristen, who I mentioned earlier, she and I talk all the time because she's not really on social media. And she's been doing a lot with LinkedIn and with AI and LinkedIn. Every day she wants to get off it. And I said, every day I say, no, LinkedIn needs you because we need joy. We need joy. We need just smiling, walking into a room smiling. It's amazing what that does.
We need silly pictures like Superman poses whenever someone catch you at a reception, or we need a one raised eyebrow and not take ourselves so seriously.
And just joy. We just need joy.
That's it. Joy. Okay. Last question, Will, and thank you for spending so much time with us. I appreciate it. I think entrepreneurs are learning a lot. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Be confident, even if you don't necessarily feel that way. Ask the question, do you need help on your tour gigs? Let me help you. Focus on other people. Yes, you're going to have ups and downs, but whether you succeed or you fail, it's all because of you. And what a freeing feeling that is. With the importance of photography and videos, and tell me if I'm probably not even going to get this number right, but someone had shared, a different speaker at one point said something along the lines of, a video that you would post on social media or LinkedIn is worth X number of millions of words. Is that something? Am I almost getting it right? Like video, it's more expressive, right? Photographs are going to be more expressive, and that is what you are doing. You are helping to allow people to use photographs to create new memories and to be able to remember old ones. And that's right. That is timeless, Will. That is timeless. That's what you do. You are providing timeless opportunities through a device like this and through your photography and your videography. How can people reach you?
Best way is, as you, I think, see on the screen, my Instagram is one great way, Will Byington. The same goes for my website that's going to be hopefully redone soon, willbyington.com. Really, any way you, LinkedIn, Will Byington, Instagram, Will Byington, X, Facebook, find me, interact with me. I do have shotclubphotoclass.com is the site for the classes. That's also in the process of being built and redone. But the easiest way is website, willbyington.com.
Okay. WILL, then Byington, BYINGTON. Will, thank you for just being a good human being, for being an incredible entrepreneur, for being a terrific friend, and for helping to teach others how to look for that creative space and how to create memories that are going to last a lifetime.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Please, to our listeners, new listeners and followers, reach out to Will and learn from him. Right? Make your photographs better. If you're on social media, make your photographs better to send to a relative of, this was our family reunion. Photographs are timeless. My 90-year-old mother, what she appreciates most, I will send things electronically to her, and she's just, I would really like a printed picture of that. And so that's what we do. We print pictures and we put them on her refrigerator, and my son helps change them about every 3 months. But pictures and what you are doing matters.
That is a soapbox. Back up your photos. Take your photos. Take them every chance you get. You never know what's going to happen to people or where life's going to take them. Take a picture, take a snapshot, and then that is a soapbox that, again, I won't go into, but print your photos. How many people say, oh, all my photos are on Facebook? Facebook could go the way of MySpace or Friendster tomorrow, and you're not going to have them. Print them. And if you really want to bring a smile to someone's face, I'll leave you with this. Print that photo. Print a little 4x6 of it. Send it to someone. Someone being able to hold that memory and hold that photo changes their world.
Amazing. Will Byington, thank you again for everything. Please reach out to him. Will Byington, photographer, creator of dreams, videographer, and just a good human being. Great entrepreneur. Will, thank you so much. I appreciate it.